Female soldier was shocked to discover that the son had undergone a terrifying transformation while on duty. She immediately reported to her superiors, but the officer merely glanced at her briefly and then ordered her to continue her duty as usual. Then he left the observation post. The monitoring screen showed that intense gamma rays were rapidly heading towards the Earth. If no countermeasures were taken, human civilization would face an impending catastrophe in a short period of time. She rushed to the combat command center, hoping to persuade the general to pay attention to the crisis, but was stopped outside the door for 2 hours. She never managed to see any of the on-duty generals. After the night shift ended, Lucy hurriedly called her mother, instructing her to stay in the underground basement for the next few days and not to go out. But before she could elaborate on the reason, suddenly an unusual noise was heard outside the house. She quickly turned off the lights in the room and, through the window, saw 2 fully armed soldiers. Lucy instantly sensed danger and immediately used the table to brace the door and grabbed her backpack to flee through the back door. In a panic, she left her phone on the sofa. Before long, the soldiers forced their way into the house, but her figure was nowhere to be seen. In a certain area of the Atlantic Ocean, a 5-person research team was piloting a homemade small submarine to explore unknown marine life at an underwater depth of 800 meters. But unexpectedly, strange things kept happening during the descent.
What is it?
That was weird just then, something just flashed in the black out there. Let's see.
It's 5 AM, I suppose.
That may be true, but we're in the aphotic zone. It should always be pitch black, as you know.
Yeah, of course, Captain Obvious.
Very strange, however.
The captain dared not continue the risky operation. He controlled the submarine to ascend to the surface, but new troubles followed one after another. The submarine and the accompanying towing ship completely lost contact, and the navigation equipment was completely paralyzed. There was no choice but for the captain to lift the hatch cover and go out to investigate. The scene before his eyes was terrifying. The lights of the accompanying ship were all on, but there was no one on the deck. She repeatedly called out the names of the crew members, but received no response at all. Everyone guessed that the crew members were in the ship's cabin dining room. After discussion, they decided to board the ship to search for them. But after searching the entire ship, not a single figure was found. The crew members seemed to have vanished into thin air. The group arrived at the captain's cabin and finally learned the shocking news from the colleague's remaining computer. It turned out that the sun had undergone a change, and the radiation released during the sunrise would wipe out all living creatures in the world. The military had previously issued a notice asking everyone to go to the nearest underground shelter, but it did not indicate the location of the shelter. The video suddenly cut off, and it could be seen that the evacuation operation was very hasty. The group quickly packed their supplies and returned to the submarine. Briefly explaining the situation to the other companions, and relying on the remaining power, they sailed at full speed towards the approximate location of the shelter. But not long after setting off, they captured an abnormal signal on the radar. There was an unknown high-speed object approaching. Captain Johnson checked and judged that the other party was likely also a group of evacuees who had received the notice and were heading to the shelter. There was no need to be on guard for the time being. 2 hours